Hi, so I've been given the Dyson Pure Cool Link by AO.com to review. We've ordered quite a few times from AO before. They give you a really good time slot for delivery, and they call you 20 minutes before, which is handy because it means you don't have to wait around all day like some other providers where they give you a delivery time between 7 AM and 7 PM. So the guys arrived, they asked me where in the house I wanted the product to be put. Even though it wasn't a particularly large item, which was quite handy. So the Dyson Pure Cool Link is a purifier and a fan. So you've got the purifier on the bottom and the fan on the top. It arrived in the compact box over there in two separate parts, the fan and the purifier, and they simply just clicked together, plugged it in, and you're ready to go. It is as simple as that. So it comes with this little small remote which controls it. It's very simple, just pictures and easy to control the item. So you've got the on-off switch and the auto switch. So the auto switch will monitor the air quality and it will turn the purifier on and off when it feels that it's required. It will also increase and decrease the intensity of the fan when it feels it needs to. So if you want to control it, the buttons here increase the intensity of the fan, so up and down, starting at 1 and going up. So if I turn auto mode off, it'll start at 1 and I can go all the way up to 10. 10 is the highest mode for the fan. You also can come back down, back to 1. If you want to switch it off, then you just press the power button. 1 obviously is not very strong, 10 being the strongest. You also have the timer button. This sets it 15, 30, 45 or an hour, and then between 1 hour and 9 hours, whichever you would prefer it to go. So you could leave it on overnight and it would just switch off in the morning. You also have the oscillate button, which twists the fan round from side to side, which improves the room coverage for the fan. You also have a night mode button here, shown by this little half moon shape. That dims the display and it will totally disappear in a couple of seconds. It also makes sure that the fan, when on auto mode, can't go any higher than setting number 4, so that you can get an undisturbed night's sleep and you can still have the fan on through the night and it doesn't wake you up. So if you have it set to auto mode, you'll have a little white A here. The A is white when it needs to be on, so it's saying it needs to be on setting 4. When the room has reached its premium quality of air, the A will turn green and the fan will switch off. This little item above means it is connected to our Wi-Fi, which means you can use it for the Dyson app. So, also on the top there is a little magnet which keeps the remote in place so you don't lose it, which is really handy. Obviously, if you have small children that walk away with it, it still might go missing, but on the top it keeps it safe. You can also control it from the app on a phone. If you have a compatible smartphone, you just need to search for the Dyson app on the App Store and you should be able to find it. So the home page looks a little bit like this. It has at the top the temperatures and weather conditions where you live. So where we are at the moment, it's 15 degrees Celsius and it is 74% humidity outside. It says it's cloudy with a little bit of sun. Then it focuses on the inside of your house, so the room. It says our room at the moment is 19 degrees with 54% humidity, but it says that the air quality in here is good. So there's this button down here, I can press it, which goes to the same thing that is on that little remote. So again, all the settings are the same and I've got it set to auto mode. On the other side, there is a little graph which shows you daily the quality of the air. Now, because we've moved our purifier from upstairs in my daughter's room to down here to do the review, it has been switched off for a small amount of time this afternoon, but it does show you the quality of the air in the graph and when it is needed to be active or not. So it says here it's been purifying this room for 10 minutes now. It also tells you at the bottom how much air purifying time is remaining. So it says we have 4,280 hours remaining. It does give you, each filter gives you 4,300 hours, which is approximately 6 months if it's left on all the time. So the app is quite useful. You can also schedule different times in the day. So you can go from Monday to Sunday and you can choose different times to set it on and off, and you just have to leave it plugged in and it will automatically do that when it needs to. So it's quite good to use the app if you can. It gives you a little bit more information about the product and about the room and the quality of the air if you use the app rather than the remote control, but obviously we understand that not everybody has smartphones which are compatible with this particular app. So the specific things that we find useful, especially the fact that the app tells you the temperature of the room, it's particularly useful for us because we have a young baby daughter, and it's good for us to monitor the temperature, and then we can switch the fan on to cool down her room if we feel that it needs to be, without actually having to go into her room and physically switch one up and risk waking her up. So as you can see on the box, it does say that it's got a 360 degree HEPA filter which removes 99.95% of allergens and pollutants as small as 0.1 microns from the air, which is particularly useful for people who have allergies, dust allergies, pollen allergies and hay fever, or even pet allergies. Particularly good for us, for our daughter who has allergies, so it's really been useful for us to test to see if it works well for her in her room, and it seems to have worked really well so far. This product definitely has a lot more positives than negatives. For example, one of the positives that we found is that you can just stick it on auto mode, which is generally what we've done, and it switches on and off when it's needed, it cools down the room, and it also purifies the air when it needs to, so it doesn't stay switched on all the time. It reacts to the quality of the air, so as the quality of the air decreases, it comes on by itself. It's safe for little ones, so it's got no blades, so the fan is safe, so we can't get any trapped fingers. It's quite nice looking, it's not particularly an ugly thing to look at, and the dim displays when you've got the night mode on make sure that you have sort of an undisturbed night's sleep and you're kept cool and the air is purified for you at the same time. The only negatives we really came up with was that when the fan is on full mode, so on 10, it can be quite noisy. However, we're undecided as to whether it is any noisier than a normal fan that you would have in your home. We also found it's quite big, so it's sort of too big for a bedside table or a coffee table, which we said was one negative. At the moment, all we've had it on is placed on the floor. So that was one negative for us. And we looked into the replacement filters. We found one review that says that they're around £50 to replace, but there's sort of speculation about how much approximately they cost. But also we can't actually find somewhere where we can actually buy the replacement filters at the moment after having a little bit of a look on the internet. So that's obviously a negative because they're not massively easy to replace. But apart from that, as I said, the item has a lot more positives than negatives. We think it's a really good product, as I say, especially for people who have allergies, to purify the air and use in the summer months to cool you down. So we've enjoyed testing and reviewing the Dyson Pure Cool Link, and it'll be a very useful product for us, so thanks AO.